Alright guys, I'm back. Hopefully that fixed it. Sorry about that. Well, I don't know if you guys will be back or not. Sorry about that. Thanks, Dustin. I'm sorry, guys. That's I don't know why it did that. I'm using my phone again tonight, because I wanted to be able to move the camera and stuff so we can do this diorama. But it did that with one other time to me, and why it did that I don't know, but it was very annoying. So sorry, but I didn't want to fight the camera the whole time. So my whole idea for tonight, guys, hello to everybody. I'm probably not going to be, excuse me, I'm probably not going to be following you guys too long or too much on the chat because I want to be able to get into this and have some time to do something with it. I thought we kind of just get back to basics here. You know, if you guys want to just, give your reasonings in the chat with each other. Yeah, we all got into this hobby for a reason. I'm assuming we all, hey Roy, assuming we all like trains. I mean, otherwise we'd be doing wargaming or something like that. So I got into this when I was a kid. You know, had no money, little allowance cutting grass, that kind of stuff, So, you had to do things on a budget. Well, there's really no reason. Hey, Joe. Anthony's back. I see all you guys are coming back. Okay, good. I really see no reason why you have to do everything expensive. I'm a firm believer in save your money for the things that are necessary. Good track, good switches, locomotives, if you like the sound and all the bells and all the whistles, put your money there. But there's so many different things you can do with less expensive scenery items. Now, granted, the static grass and all the fancy ground coverings and that you can get from all over the place, Sill Floor and Woodland Scenics and all those fancy places. Yeah, they're a little more expensive, they're a little nicer, the finished product. But, I don't know, just recently with everything going on in the war stopper and everything, I just kind of feel like I just wanted to go back to some basics. So, Wilmer's done some nice dioramas, a lot of you guys have. He's working on another build right now with the model railroader. So, it gave me the idea to just kind of do a diorama. So let me show you just a basic what I'm thinking here. Let me get these out of the way. So, I'm just going to start with this pink foam. A lot of us, most of us, a lot of us anyways, it's just 1-inch foam. It's my layout's covered with that, and I like that approach. It's nice you can stick things in it, like your trees and things. And just this little shop here from Rick's Products or Pike Stuff. Very, very kind of cheap, but they're nice little products. This was a 2-story, or I guess you can modify it different ways. I actually cut it and modified it completely different than what they said. So it's kind of like an office garage, or garages for small vehicles, for trucks. I use it in my intermodal facility. I'm going to use this as a little bit of a, just like a little truck repair shop. Little door on the back. Put the office up above the garage here. Anyways, so what I did, I had to do some prep work because it's going to take a while. I'm going to just jump right into this, guys. So hello to everybody. I'm sorry if I don't call you out individually, but if you guys do want to kind of throw it out there, why you guys got into model railroading, different things like that. And let me say one other thing, just some more things you can chat about. I wrote it down on this fancy napkin when I was watching Wilmer's Not Bad. His question of the week. What type of videos do you prefer to watch? When you go on YouTube and you watch videos, so not only go to his video from Monday and answer it there, but you know, it was how-to videos, layout tours, operations, rail fanning. Man, I can't read my own writing. Train simulator games, product reviews, or other. So, just some things just to chat about while I'm doing my thing here. So what I decided to do, I did some prep work first on the board. You got your pink foam. This is just a cheap piece of track here. Just kind of went in a, stand back, let me move this chair, let me trip on it and kill myself. Actually took a folding table and set it up here, guys. So what I did was, this was just some extra foam. You know, guys, it's cheap. Most of us have it laying around anyways. I painted it brown just with some craft paint. Put some extra foam I had laying around. This is actually white, like white packaging foam. You know, we all get that, and you know, we buy something, we get packaging foam. So I just glued that down earlier today so it would be dry. Just did some cheap ballast down there. Made some rock forms. So let me turn the camera down to the board here, to the table, and we'll get messing around with this. Hopefully I can get it in the picture pretty good. Maybe or maybe not. Let's see. I think we're pretty good. So my thing is, I'm going to take, where I painted gray here, since there's no floor, I just measured out the building, painted the flooring, and just be a basic gray. Now, I use just cheap apple barrel paints and that from Walmart and stuff. I just painted those brown. I'm going to paint this one brown. I figured I'd do that one and do one of them on camera, so we can do that. I'm just going to squeeze it right out of the bottle. Nothing fancy, no matter what color you use. This is just a cover. You see, I must have used it to paint something silver on. This does not have to be perfect. Just so that when you put your ground covering on, it's not, if you miss any spots, it's kind of covered, you know. You don't see, I'm not going to see green or pink foam through it. I did this first so it could be drying. Actually, I could have used this to attach the foam, or to attach the ground covering to, but that's alright. Too late now. Now I just glued this down with, I use a low temp hot glue gun. It's a little cheapy, a mini gun. I glued these down onto the board. You know, the extra pieces of foam. You could do that instead of actually using glue or like adhesive of some kind. That's good enough. And again, I'm sorry I can't read the feed at all, the way the camera's set. So, for ground covering, I'm going to move the building out of the way. Now, I think I've told you guys before, just in passing, I've never done a video on it, but I use dirt right out of my yard. As you can see, just dirt. And what I do is I dig it up. I dug a bunch up in the fall, put it in old coffee containers, and then over the winter I lay them out on cookie sheets. I throw some tinfoil down first, and I use the wife's old cookie sheets. Should have a fit. Otherwise, I bake it. I bake it in the oven for an hour or so. About 200. Flip it, turn it up. Number one, it kills all the bugs and critters. Number two, it also dries it out. Then I'll take that and I'll sift it. When it's all dry, I take it and I sift it through a strainer. I have a These are some small ones. These are just dollar store stuff. But I have a bigger one that I'll use originally. And then you get a. And the nice thing about it, though, guys, is you get some roots, little roots and things like that. But you also get some different size rock. Save all that stuff, just for detail work, talus, whatever. It's all free. Think about it, it's free. So that's what I'm trying to do is budget wise. So I'm going to put a road in here. So I'm going to go. I'm thinking I want to run this road. What do you guys think is a scale road? So I figure lanes would be about, what, 8 to 10 feet each? It's going to be more of a country kind of road, so it don't have to be perfect. So I'm just going to draw some lines. That. Come across the track here. Make it 20, what do you think, 20 feet? 10 and 10, 20 scale feet. Sounds good to me when I do those little lines. Alright, so it's just a rough drawing. I don't want this to be shoddy. I mean, I know we don't have a ton of time. So, and it's up to you too. Do you want it to be more straight? Just kind of freehand it. Oh, I totally missed my line. That's okay. We're going to cover all that. You know what else I think would be kind of cool? Since I got this little rock here and here, I think we're going to do a little crossroad here. Kind of little country road coming up from this side. Let's go like here. Maybe there. Gotta turn it in there. There. Maybe. And it's, and it brings back memories too. Not that I get too fancy when I do it here on my layout, but it don't look right. It's all janky. Alright, good enough. But as a kid, I just kind of drew things out. I'm going to have this as a parking lot. I'll do some grass in that too. But I think I want the road to kind of end up over here. Let's go like this. Keep it at about that 20 scale feet. We can always adjust it. I'm going to come across this on a little bit of an angle. See how it goes. So you come across the track and you're going to kind of turn off that way. I'll make a driveway over here for this. So let me show you how you can do several different things. Now when I did the asphalt and the road and stuff over by the crane elevator I've been showing you, that whole area is just rolled cork. This is cork material. It comes in a roll, and it's about the thickness. I think I've showed this before. About the thickness of the road bed. Roughly, you got to sand the road bed a little bit. But so that's actually, I just painted that, and that's actually what I guess it's like an asphalt look. It's a little bit big for asphalt for HO scale, but this stuff here is what I made all my roads with. If you remember my downtown area and my fueling area and my shops areas, it's all this foam. It's like 33, 35 cents a sheet. I get it at Walmart. This is 8 by 11 and a half, right? 9 by 12, sorry, my bad. They do make them in bigger sheets. You can get it in all kinds of colors. I've gotten it in gray, I've gotten it in black, brown. Hell, I don't know. Here's brown, piece of brown. I've gotten it in red, white, blue, yellow. You could paint it. In fact, Because I only had black, figured I'd go with, I'm going to kind of make this look more like asphalt, but you can do it more like concrete too, like I've done in my downtown area. So my thing is this. Take this stuff off of there. If you look at the track, I use code 100, so let's state that. Bring this board up to the track. You lay one down to the tie, and you lay one over top of that one, it comes right, literally right up to rail height. Okay? So it works out real nice. And then you lay one down in the middle here for your crossing, and then just one piece in the middle. Of course, you got to measure and cut so you have flangeways, and it's the perfect height. I've done it every one of my crossings. So we can do a couple different things, but I think that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna measure out a piece of this, quickly cut it. I should have actually pre-cut these, I wasn't thinking. I actually just decided to kind of go this route today. And so I'm gonna give this a little bit of, I can either do the whole thing, or I could cut it. Yeah, that'll work. This ain't gonna be perfect, guys. I'm just trying to give this an idea here. And unfortunately, I'm just gonna use glue for this. I could use white glue, but I think the tacky glue will hold it down better because we don't have a lot of time. Or I could use the hot glue actually. The reason I'm using this one instead of the one I showed you that I had painted, this one's going to be covered. Now, for the fun. This cuts really easy with the scissors. Use a hobby knife or whatever as well. Cool. Good enough for government work. Sticking my finger in that brown paint. So what do you have? You have your crossing, but you'll notice a little bit of a dip here where it is. But I mean, you could make it the whole way down, make it that level, that whole thickness, but I don't usually. Kind of like to have that little bit of a dip. I probably should have cut that a little further up, the bottom piece. Just give it a little more of that crossing kind of hump, I guess. Alright. And let's see here, we can do the same thing. A little more tricky here because I'm curving the road, so. If I went straight, it would have been a little easier. I am boring you guys to death. Nice thing is you can kind of press against it and see where the rail is, so you can kind of draw your line. Kind of put a depression in there. Or you can simply paint it. It'll work too. So, it's not perfect. A little janky, but you get the idea. Again, that would be way more precise about this if I wasn't trying to kind of rush a little bit through it. So, that's what I mean. Unfortunately, I'm trying to, for the purposes of time, I'm trying to get this diorama at least somewhat done while we're on camera. Come on, glue. Stop being a jerk. We'll just go to white glue, I guess. Doesn't hold as good. Well, like I said, it's okay. You get the idea. But the main thing is you want to make sure you get this so it's not up above the rail or anything. Do that towel. Let's see, now this got to be a little more precise, so I'm going to take and measure this. Let's see. That's pretty close. All right. Just you want to make sure you want to glue it down, but you don't want to have stuff like splotching up through on the sides, and you can still have to clean the junk out if there anything gets in between this and the rails. But I said I did this ballast earlier, but it may not be 100% dry. All right, let's. I don't know if Joe G's in here still or not, but let's put Joe G to work. Just for fun here. Nice. Thanks, Joe. I knew you'd be good for something today. Buddy, old pal. Alright, so what I like to do though, like if I had time, I was going to make this all nice and perfect. I would T-pin this all in. You know, I get these T-pins. I got a couple of them sitting here, just these pins like that. I get them at the dollar store. I don't buy them ones from Woodland Scenics and that. These are fine. I've done the whole layout with these. Cork road bed, track. To hold it while I was gluing. Because I glue my track and my road bed down with white glue. This way it's easily removed if needed. They're, I think, 100 or 200 in a pack for like $1. It's a Dollar Tree. Either 50 cents a pack or $1 a pack. I don't remember which. Alright, so just for fun, throw that other road in there. That, I don't know, we're just going to curve that. I should have left a little bit at the edge there. Sorry. Not bad, Wilmer. Not bad. Not bad. So we get the angle right, just because this is how easy this stuff is to work with. Actually do an impression of the road that's there. Draw it with a pencil. This is my OCD kicking in, I'm sorry, man. Oh, look at that. That's a standing ovation right there, man. You know, I'm not going to worry about this over here for now. You guys get that there's going to be a road there. I lied. Alright. That's good enough for now. For that. So next step is, I think we're going to do some covering of the mounds. Can you guys see this okay so far? The road coming in. I mean, obviously we'll do some tar lines and that. You know, I'm not going to, I could stripe it too. I use the highways and byways stuff, but let me show you some if you don't want to. First, let me say I highly recommend highways and byways, but I got yellow electrical tape. You could paint. I mean, you could tape it off and paint. But I'll take this, I get this ruler here, it's in millimeters. I make it just one little line on that. Probably won't even focus. So 1 millimeter. I'll mark it out, I'll lay this out on the bench, stretch it out, mark it out, cut it. I make my straps and stuff like that too for my loads and such. But you can use that for striping even. So I'm saying this is budget. I mean, it's maybe $1 or $2, I don't remember. Got it at Walmart or something. I don't spend a lot of money on this stuff, guys. I save my money, like I said, for the more expensive stuff. Like I said, the dirt's free. I think what I'm going to do is we're going to cover these little mounds with dirt. It'll be messy now. For a little bit of a base. I'll do that. Check my arms in the way. It's just looking pretty good there. Now this ballast I got, I don't know, I won some, it was a while ago, I did like a lot of things on eBay. It was a lot that I bought. Had some just odds and ends type stuff, some detail type things, and had this had some bags of bags of ballast from it. It was Bachman, I think. And I did my yard in it. It's okay. It's really cheap. It was really cheap for me because I mean it came in that box, and I got a ton of stuff in that box for I don't know, 20 or 30 bucks, and it really man, I haven't used everything in it yet. It was a lot of stuff. So what do I do with it? I just put it in a. Here's another thing, guys. Instead of buying those woodland shakers, scenic shakers, this was a I don't know, Parmesan cheese or something from the store. It was empty. Save it. You wash it out. It's got the little shaker thing on it too. You know, or I just open it. But this is more of a, it's very lightweight. It's almost like, looks like it's made out of the cork road bed, actually. Like a cork rather than, like Woodland Scenics, I think is walnut shells or something. So I mean it's a little bit cheaper, but since I got it in that thing, I'll use it. Use it up. So that's what I did the ballast with. I did that earlier this way. It was somewhat dry, so that we didn't have any issues there. So, let's see here. I always sift it, because even though I sifted it, I still get some stuff left in there. So I'll just sift it over top of that. And just cover. I have a mess on my hand, that's okay. Now if you want it to be like real specific where you want it, it just takes a little bit more. Hold on a minute, I should throw a little more glue on. It might be too late. I'm going to throw a little more glue on that. Now, depending what area of the country you are, like somebody like Joe, out in Arizona, you're going to have more of a lighter colored dirt or sand. You know, you guys down in the south maybe more red, clay. So it's kind of cool too. So, and then depending what area you are, you know, you're in, then it's going to depend on if you're going to use the dirt. You know, I could have went some. This is just from my yard, and we did some good topsoil there not too long ago, and mixed it all in. We've always done that, so it gets pretty rich. So that's why it's so dark. And once you wet it, it's going to get even darker. Yeah, this is all going to be on your layout, so I have to vacuum it. Hang on a minute, I'll be back. Being it's a diorama, I'm just going to shake it over the garbage can. So it leaves a little bit where the glue didn't stick it, but it's okay. Now, the next budget item I want to show. We did the foam, we did the dirt. Everybody got a Home Depot or 84 Lumber or one of those kind of shops, right? Again, back in the day, no money as a kid. People now, fixed incomes, whatever, people losing jobs, whatever. You go there, say, hey, can I have your sawdust from your saw? You know, they go and they cut your lumber for you and you just take it home. The guy gave me a big bag, huge bag, big garbage bag. Take it home. I take a bucket, I put some water in the bucket, and then I take, again, they're craft paints. Whatever colors you want to make dirt and grass. I got this is a kiwi green, you know, you put the paint, you mix it in the water, make like a mix. You could use the clothing dye, like Ritz and those kind of dyes. I remember as a kid, Mom would help me out with it. We'd dye this all up, she'd get the clothing dye, and lay it out on newspaper to dry, or you could do it in the oven too to dry. You just gotta, you know, keep it on a low heat, of course. Just same thing with the dirt. You don't want it to be on too high of a heat. Just let me tell you one thing about the dirt: the house is gonna stink when you're drying that dirt. So I think let's just play around. I'll take some of this dirt color. Again, I sift it again like I did the dirt. Now. Get this to stick. I'm gonna wet this down. Now the water's got a little bit of soap in it, got a little bit of alcohol in it. And you can sift it if you want. I guess you could just do fingers, but just kind of some color variation in it. And this is just kind of the taste, you know what I mean? You just kind of play around with it and see what you like. But yeah, that's that color. I really like this marsh green actually. I'm almost out of that. I used that quite a bit. Now, I have graduated to more of the ground foams and that. I make my own ground foam too. One of these days I'll actually do a video on that. I just grind up foam. Same thing with the water and the paints, whatever color you want. I have an old blender that I got cheap. I use that to blend it, and then I have a coffee bean grinder that I get it down even finer. So it's kind of, again, containers for everything, man. So then I get it down pretty fine with that coffee bean grinder. But that's a little less budget because you got to get the foam. And I get some leftover foam from work. You know, you can buy stuff like that at the craft stores. You know, get a big thing of it and it'll last you forever. So I mean, it ends up being budget friendly. But if you're looking for stuff that is free, like I said, like this, the sawdust thing cost me a dime. The paints are 50 cents a piece. So this is going to be gravel. There's some gravel along the sides of the road too. So show you the next budget item. Now, this is a little controversial, potentially controversial. Well, I'm not going to bring it over here, but I bought a bag of Quikrete. Seen a guy actually do his roads in Quikrete instead of the patching plaster. You can do that too for your different plasters, compounds. But what I did was I sifted out. I just bought the cheap $5 bag or whatever. And I sifted it out. It takes some time. Now let's be honest, it takes time. But I got some different grades of it. Now, this is way more rocky over here. I don't know if you can see that. It's got a lot more rock in it. But you know, we use, I mean, there's a lot. I'm never going to use that, but it's talus, whatever, rock. You never know when you're going to use that stuff. So I mean, you get it anyways when you're making these things. And then there's some like nylon socks. And what I do is I sift it down. What did I do with it? Ah, here it is. I sift it down through the nylon so it's more to scale. So then you get it like that. Some guys will use a grout. It's kind of along the same lines, I think. It's basically the powder, the cement powder that's left after you sift everything. You're left with this powder. Now keep in mind, when you're doing all this sifting, you want to be in a well-ventilated area, be outside, you know, PSA announcement. If you're going to be using it on the layout like I'm doing, don't have your expensive locomotives and stuff laying around. It gets dusty. So keep that in mind. You don't want that all over your stuff. So be smart about it, okay? Don't say, you know, Dave from the Crooked River told me to ruin my locomotives because he's a knucklehead. So I take this little cup and I add a little bit of this to it. Even though I already sifted it out, I still use it as like a shaker. I give it a little more of an even spread. And I probably could have cut this sock a little better. I made this sock hard on myself, but that's alright. Now I got nothing to wear on Friday night. I put a rubber band around it. Hold the sock on. If I don't break the rubber band first. I did, you bastards. Rubber bands at the dollar store too, nice and cheap. So make yourself a little filter. And so this is all going to be a parking lot. So we just kind of shake it out over. I'm going to take it right up to the tracks in here, because it's going to act like a nice gravel. And I just cover that up with some more dirt and whatever. I'm going to take it off where I don't want it. I guess, you know, you could do it one of two ways. You could wet this down first. Because remember, it's cement. You don't have to glue this down. If you wet it, it's going to, you know, it's going to act as a, it's going to activate it or whatever you want to call it. You know how it is when you make it wet so it'll set. I couldn't find my good water bottle, so I got this crappy one. Keep in mind too, if I was doing this on the layout, I would have taped off these tracks and stuff. You know, you want, or either that, or you got to clean them off right away. I mean, it'll come off. It's just, my goodness. I was lying when I said this thing was kind of crappy. All blotchy. Alright. You see that needs more. So let's give it some more. Now that we can see where we need it. A little bit better. So hopefully this isn't boring you guys too much, but if it is, I'm sorry. But I'm enjoying myself. I've always wanted to make a diorama, actually. Kind of what I feel the layouts are actually dioramas if you think about it. It's not really mobile, unless you make modules. So along the road I'm going to go, so you have that little bit of a lip there, so I'm going to go a little thicker there where the driveway is going to be. And some of this is a work in progress, trying to get this perfected. I did this around my concrete company. Oh, I had to let that go. How that happened, the glue came up on it. You guys there? I don't know how long I lost you. But, alright, anyways. I just happened to look up and see that it was not connected. Alright, fix that problem. Well, this is got a little bit on here, but that's okay. I like there's a little bit of weathering even on the road. just going to fill in a few spots here that I missed. And this is going to be the driveway to the company here, so I'm going to take a spoon. Just kind of build that up a little bit, so because there's a little bit of a lip there. Because remember we had the roads at a little bit of a higher level still. See, I actually weathered the road by the grain elevator, kind of with the powder from this. It gives it a little bit of a dusty look. Almost like a weathering powder, to be honest with you. Of course, it gets a bit of dampness on it still from me spraying it down, so obviously this wouldn't be wet when I'm doing this. But it's still not too bad. It'll work. So, let's see, we want to add some grass in maybe here, some on top of there. Again, guys, you know, obviously, the static grasses and that are going to look a little nicer. That's why I sifted. You get some bigger pieces of like sawdust in there. You could sift it all beforehand, like instead of doing it through a sifter to spread it. I could have easily sifted the whole thing and then bagged it up that way all nice and sifted, which is, now that I'm thinking about it, would have been a good idea. Because you get a little bit of those bigger chunks. Not a fan of them. So, like a little bit of something a little nicer around the building there. So, again, I can't see what you guys are talking about, so I don't know if you guys think this is, I don't know what you guys are thinking about it, if it's worth it or not. There's my water bottle. But it's just simple. I mean, like I said, I was trying to stay on the budget end of it. And again, if I wasn't kind of pressed for time to stay in there roughly an hour, I would definitely be taking more time and stuff with it. So, but you know how things go. It's On Track Tuesday, man. We kind of wing stuff on Track Tuesday. You can see like this. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it I feel like everything's in the camera pretty well. Being it's already wet, I mean it just soaks this right in. The powder. And again, this would all be done in stages. You know, like the road would have been down, secured, tracks would have been dried, everything would have been dried before I did the next layer, that type of thing, you know. So, hopefully you guys understand that. That's why I don't do it that way. That's why the nylon's best. But I do want to do a bit of a gravel shoulder here. And especially you're going to want to do something like right here where it's up against the ties on the track, because you're going to have a little bit of a gap there. So, some type of gravel or you know, ground foam, something to cover that gap. There's a little gravel here, like where cars would cut it short. Truck trailers or whatever. All right. Not my best work, but so let's see, what else can we do? some of that fine ground foam in there. Sorry, my arm's in the way, sorry about that. Sometimes the sifters are hard because it gets in the way of where you want it to go exactly, but it does kind of give it more of an even spread. If you guys have a better idea, I guess I could just use like the shaker bottle. Try and give it a little bit of color, texture, more than color actually. Coffee break. There's all my sugar. It's at the bottom of the coffee cup. I didn't stir it. Dang it. So, I don't know what you guys think so far. And it's just a matter of kind of playing with colors. This is a holly green, sawdust that I dyed. Throw some of it in here and there just for some living shit. Some living stuff. So let's see, what do I got tied up in this so far? As far as, I mean, not the diorama itself, but the materials. Like I said, the dirt's free. The paints, you know, they're 50 cents a bottle. Boy, I don't know how this live stream's going, guys. I apologize. I really don't know what's going on here. My internet's been giving me craziness lately. But anyways, when you go for the back to school stuff in the fall, I think they raised it this year to like 33 cents or something. But these were $1 a piece at Walmart. You know, it's a generic brand, but what the heck is white glue? Or you could buy that big jug, but I buy a ton of that, you know, every time I go up there during that time of year. So, not too much tied up into that. The paints, like I said, are about 50 cents a piece. Your soil from your yard is pretty much just free. A little bit to, you know, use the electric or the gas oven to dry it out. Sawdust, like I said, they'll give it, they gave it to me anyways, I'm guessing they'll give it to you. If you go up to Home Depot or one of those places like that, ask them, go up to the guy that's running the saw, just say, hey, you know, I have the model, tell them what you got, you know, model railroad, or I make dioramas, or, you know, whatever you want to tell them. And can I get you sawdust from your saw? You know, I've never had them say no. Now that guy gave me a huge bag, and I still got half of that bag out in the garage and never did anything else with it. But as this kind of dries, I kind of keep hitting it here and there, sprinkle it on. It kind of gives a little bit of a different color variations in it. Could take some of the heavier stuff, run it along the edges here, kind of where rocks fell. And like I said, this is all, this bag of Quikrete, you know, is this the yellow and black bag? You guys know Quikrete. Now you could buy it, I think, just in the cement form, just the powder form, where it doesn't have the rock and everything in it. It's more of a grout. You could buy it like that too. I think it's closer to $8 or $10. I'm just cheap enough that. But I say that kind of jokingly, but at the same time, I got all this other stuff out of it. You sift it and you get all these other rocks too. So that was my thinking when I bought it. Next time, if I ever do it again, I probably wouldn't do it that way. Get a little texture. You know, and when I'm doing this stuff on the layout, guys, you know, it isn't quick like this. I mean, I'm down here for hours and hours and hours and days sometimes, you know, just tweaking it and changing it because I'm not crazy about it. So this is kind of killing me that it's not coming out 100% like I want it to. So, I mean, I don't think it looks terrible, but it's, you know, I'll put that down. Like I said, the concrete is going to hold its own. The other stuff you got to kind of glue down, as you guys know. So you either use a spray bottle for that, or an eyedropper, or what have you. Again, I use either 50-50 white glue and water. You can use matte medium. You know, like your, what was that stuff called? Mod Podge, things like that. But I just dispense it out of the bottle. Just turn it a little bit. Get your little drops. Turn it up and get some drops. I'm just kind of going to go over where I have like some of the grassy areas that need to glue down. Honestly, I'm not really crazy about getting this too good because it's just a diorama. I'm probably going to get rid of it anyways. I might do something else with it. I don't know. We'll see. You wet it down with that 50 or that water mixture with the alcohol and soap in it. Breaks that surface tension. And then the glue sticks right in there. Sucks right in. There, good enough. Looks pretty plain. So, another budget item, if I can find it. Michael's, those kind of stores like that, the craft stores. You know, the old lichen we used to use. Don't order that from Woodland Scenics. Go up to those places. I think it was $5 for this bag, if that. You know, they got different colors. They got more of a dead color. They got bright purples and stuff if you want that. But they got different shades of green and that. So, you know, again, like I said, I'm just going with the budget stuff. I do have, good, where did I put all this stuff? It's here somewhere. Oh, here it is. The clump foliage from Woodland Scenics. You know, that's $8 for this little bag. It's nice. I like it. But I'd make that too. You know, when I'm talking about making that ground, I have to do a video on doing that. I promise you guys I will. I'm not going to do it live. I'll just do a video of it. But, see, I leave some of it chunkier. This is what it comes out when I first do it. Then I grind it down more, and I get like a heavy, a medium, and then a fine. And I tried something different last time. Where I actually tried to make my own clump type foliage. Where I left it kind of heavy, I put a little glue in it, and left it kind of heavy, and then I tear it apart to like little bushes. So I could use that even, you know. Bushes around there. Another sock. I got this stuff here. Do that. So, Now, I would normally be gluing this stuff down, guys, but obviously we're just doing this for fun. This little bush here. Screwing off the rock, maybe. You guys get the idea. This ain't rocket science. But it's fun. Good times, fun times. You know, and I think we're all going a little stir crazy. I don't know if anyone's even in this shed anymore. Might just be me. I think we're all going a little stir crazy, being kind of stuck in the houses and everything. So let's see, how about let's do some trees. It's another thing with the foam, which makes it nice. So, I got this big table, I don't know where to put it. So let me just show you. These are one of those little China trees I got from Wish. And I did some work to it, tried to spruce it up a little bit. It came out okay. I need to do a little more work to it. But let's just go ahead, for fun, we'll plant a tree right here. So I'm trying to, like I said, stay with the budget stuff. We do a nice big pine tree. We always want a pine tree yet. I was doing kind of, there's a little seam block here where it goes off the layout. Where the road's at. That don't look too bad. Another one over here, maybe. Still on this thing? If we're not, we're not. This tree here is one of those ones I got from, it was Dwayne, I believe, gave me these. It's that psyllium, whatever that tree plant is. So the piece is really big on those. So I got to put a big hole. Plant that tree. How's that? Let's do another one of these. We'll do one of those up there. And then with the super trees, you break those branches off and you get a lot of little stuff too. There with one. Just drew up another pine tree up there on top of the hill. I feel like you guys all left me. What does it say? I don't know. Another one here. Alright guys. Let's kind of sort of wrap this up, then I would glue this in place. And we always run some telephone poles down along. Maybe. There's something else I wanted to show you, but I mean, we're running really long. If you guys want to hang out, I'll hang out. But, you know, I need to maybe print these out on a better paper, more of a, what do you call it, kind of paper, more of like a photo paper, but I made some signs. It's out of paper and styrene. So, oh, you bastards. Well, they're on the floor now, or some of them are. Let me find what I wanted. A little road crossing sign, stop sign there. And another one for this side. Stop sign here. My little speed limit sign will do that. Curve ahead. Just printed out a bunch of different signs. I thought it was kind of fun. Curve ahead, railroad tracks ahead. Anyway. I don't even know who's here anymore. You guys probably all left, and that's okay. I get it. So let's kind of call this a done deal. For the diorama, we're going to set up some vehicles. So I mean, I would have struck out the road and put, you know, the little road markings and all that stuff in place, but obviously that's not going to happen tonight. That's good. Trees. These are a couple more of those little Chinese trees. From that Wish app. They're not awful, we need to do a little work to them. I got a bunch of 3D printed stuff from some barrels over here. Stick that tree out, open it on the side. From Phantom Hobbies. barrels. Stack of 55-gallon drums. I painted those up. Set them alongside here like extra oil barrels. One of his trash dumpsters. I painted the trash dumpster up. Set that there. There's a little 3D painted up tool cart. Just put that outside the door for now. This trailer here because this truck's gonna be in here getting worked on. So we dropped this trailer so we can get worked on inside the building. I got a mess here, but you guys get the idea. Well, guys, that's good enough. Okay. I don't know who's left, but that's what I got. So guys, for those that have stuck it out, let's take a quick peek here. Of course, my guy fell over. All right, quick look down the street. So there's that. Down that way, you got some Firehouse whiskey being delivered. So, again, I'm not going to stripe the road out and everything. I'm going to call it a night. I'm sorry this went so long. You can see some of the weathering And once that's dry, I can do it a little bit better. Cheapo trees. These trees, I'm really happy with these trees. I'll have to do something on that. And it's a little truck shop. Telephone poles. I'm working on telephone poles lately. All right, man. Again, sorry for how long it took. I tried to go as quick as I could. It obviously does take time. I tried to do a little ahead of time so it wouldn't take so long. But thank you guys for sticking it out, for the ones that have. Okay, you did 15 years, I did it in an hour. Yeah, but I did, what is this, 18 by 18 inches or something, so, you know. You don't want to look at me, let's look at the diorama. The diorama. So, and like I said, this is all pretty budget. This kit, I mean, I'm going to say $10 roughly. I don't remember what I paid for it, but it's one of those Rick's kits. So, thank you, Wilmer. Thank you, everybody, for stopping in. And I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed doing it. I just feel bad it took so long. Again, check out Phantom Hobbies, too. I got all these little... You know, there's a dumpster, I painted it. It come not painted, but I painted it, you know. So, they're nice. Nice little details. Remember to check out Yankee Dabbler and get that 5% off CRNE code. And enjoy your week, guys. It's been a pleasure. I always enjoy doing this. I always seem like I never know what I'm going to do till the very end coming up to the show. Hope you guys liked what I did with the crossing there. Now, like I said, I did it very quickly, but that foam stuff, I'm telling you, try it. It's nice because you can draw lines in it and everything. Let me take a quick swing. I know we want to go, but this is all striped out and everything with that highways and byways. But you can see I put cracks in it, that kind of stuff. You could put lines in there, you know, like the cement joint lines and all that stuff. So, you know, keep that all in mind. All right, that's it. Talk to you guys later. Have a good week. I'm not going to run through all the shows for the week. You know when they all are. So I'll catch you on some of them other shows. Okay, good night.